blammed out of my beret. Ladies and gentlemen, PSG 5, Inter Milan 0. I am inspired. I am reflecting on my environment around me and seeing a better world. I am seeing all of the good and none of the bad. This fixture may have just changed my life. What I've watched and witnessed tonight is a footballing masterclass. It is a schooling from PSG on Inter Milan. It's impossible not to congratulate them. It's impossible to almost give them a standing ovation. I would, but I don't want to mess up the camera and the fixation on face. I am so impressed. I am so elated that the best team in Europe have got what they deserved. They have shown throughout the knockout stages, in the league phase, in the league campaign, which is long gone and almost forgotten about. They were scrambling and surviving and trying to get through to the next round, the knockouts. Since then, they have been flawless. They have been absolutely clear, head and shoulders the best. The balance between defense, attack, the counter press, the way that they move the ball about in the midfield, it's all been outstanding. And I'll be honest, Inter Milan didn't deserve to share the same pitch as PSG. I'll be so real. That game, I feel almost sorry for the elderly, aging men on the side of Inter that could not compete from the first whistle. From the moment a ball was kicked, they were done. Technically, physically, it was all a formality. They could not compete. PSG and Luis Enrique, and we all know the story and the heartbreak and the travesty he deserves. As a man, he deserves. As a coach, his second treble. This is his second treble as a head coach. Barcelona, MSN. Can you do it again? PSG, League, Coupe de France, Champions League, the first in their history. People were talking about, oh, this might not be, the most moving, the most gripping, the most biggest media frenzy final we've seen. Where's the hype? The hype is in France. The hype is in Italy. It may not be in England, but believe me, Marseille fans, they're there. Hating. PSG fans, they're there. Pouring their heart and soul into this, their first Champions League. AC Milan fans, they're there, hating. Inter Milan fans, they're pouring their heart and soul in that crowd, in that game, praying that they could get a Champions League for the first time since 2010, to get a trophy for a season where they could have done their own treble and they end up leaving with nothing. But PSG, to do this the season after Mbappe leaves, to do this with a new team and play this level of football, Campos, Enrique, the staff, the coaches, the physios, the gardeners, the pitch men, the kit men, the canteen ladies, everybody, the fans, round of applause. Honestly, I take my beret off to you. I take my hat off to you because I am so impressed. PSG tonight, in that midfield, they won that game. Vitinha and João Neves in particular, taking their turns to pick up the ball off the defenders and pop it and find the spaces and play through the lines. And that first goal is a massive indicator of that. Inter Milan, structurally, 5-3-2, pinned back, couldn't even get into PSG's half, all first half, and PSG still found a way. Vitinha slicing that defense, slicing and dicing that defense with a knife, yeah? People were bleeding on that pitch tonight. The ambulance had to be called. Emergency services. The referee ended the game 90 minutes, 7 seconds. He didn't even give injury time because the men on the pitch were already injured. He said, yo, get yourselves to hospital, family and kids to feed. They've got livelihoods to get back to. That pass, Desiree Doué, turned, twisted, not even facing goal, laid it across, Hakimi against his old club, tap in, walked it in. Sensational, sexy football, right? Orgasmic, orchestrated, oozing sauce. That's what that was. And this is the thing. The front three, the front six, the fluidity, the freedom that they're able to play with, to interchange, to float, to go into different positions, to double up on each flank. Sometimes false nine. Dembele, you find them on the left. You find Desiree Doué in the left pocket. You find Kvaratskhelia on the right. It's just such a contrast to anything happening in modern day football. Today, they brought the sport back to life. They revived it. Yeah? Like Fortnite. They said, this football, this is the beautiful game. This is Barcelona versus Manchester United at Wembley or in Rome. That's the level of Champions League final we just witnessed. This is Brazil v Germany in a World Cup semi-final. That is the level of football we just witnessed. Pure and utter domination into the history books. I cannot glaze and glow this game more than I will and more than I can. But I'm so impressed. That first goal, immaculate. Absolutely immaculate. And it didn't stop there. Cavas, you know, let's get into the next guy. Because I gotta get to my notes. Because there's so much goals and so many glowing moments that I gotta make sure that I'm staying on track. Desiree Doué put his fingerprints all over this fixture. He announced himself tonight. He's had a great season, but this was his first, taste. Final Champions League headlines, he took them. He got an assist, he's got 2 goals, and the finishes are mature and they're seasoned, right? The first goal, a little bit of a deflection, cool. Unlucky for Inter Milan, you may say. You'll definitely pick holes in that defense again. DeMarco cooked today. Bastoni cooked. People that we rate and rank highly. I'm not going to change my overriding and overall opinion on these people, but they got absolutely blammed, bamboozled, and discombobulated today. It was a surgical performance from PSG. Desiree Doué, first goal, cool. Little bit of luck. Second goal that he scored later on this night, wonderful finish into the near post. We're talking about Kvaratskhelia. His finish on the left foot, expertly taken. He's 2-footed. This guy is an absolute demon. And the funny thing is that PSG could add more. PSG missed chances. Barcola missed an absolute sitter tonight. He's done everything right. And then Sommer's at his mercy. Sommer's committing sins. Sommer's sat down and he puts it wide and he doesn't put the cherry on the cake. And then they get the fifth and it's a fantastic, emphatic finish off the post and in, off the bench. And the thing that I'm going to get into Inter Milan in a minute, but the thing I'm so impressed with PSG tonight is their willingness and their persistence and their commitment to continue to keep attacking after attacking. There maybe was a 10, 15-minute spell at the start of the second half where Inter Milan were getting themselves back into the game and really just got a grip. But we didn't see Lautaro Martinez have a single shot tonight. We only saw Thuram have a header. We saw Donnarumma have to make a save, at most one. But we didn't see a surge or a response of the tide turning. PSG went through that patch and then said, I got more for you. And they absolutely dismantled that Inter Milan team in the second half. They did it in the first half and they were relentless. They just wanted goal after goal after goal. They were never satisfied. You would have thought they were playing Marseille. You would have thought they were playing their ops. You would have thought it was Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe on the other side. I don't know what type of hatred or what type of, I don't know why they didn't have mercy. Why they didn't have mercy on Inter Milan tonight. But for some reason, they just didn't want to stop punching them. Didn't want to stop kicking them down. Like, they dead, bro. They dead. Let them live. Let them... There might be a pulse. Let's get them to the hospital. Let's get them on the hospital bed and let's see if we can, revive and alive them. Nah, they said no. They said no. Like, that was Parc des Princes. That was places you shouldn't go at night. That was ruthless. That was nasty work. That was violence. It was just an onslaught over and over and over again. And you're thinking, is this personal? Is this really personal? Is it that deep? When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Outstanding performance. And I know people will say, we should have got Desiree Doué, and they'll relate it back to their own clubs. But let me tell you, nobody else is playing the way PSG are playing. No one is allowing their wingers to interchange. No one is allowing the fluidity and the flexibility of their forwards to move that way. No one is allowing, in this modern day, to let their fullbacks overlap like Hakimi and Nuno Mendes has done in this tournament. There's a lot to like about that 4-3-3, and it all goes back to Enrique. Top coach, top performance. All the credit's got to go to him, the recruitment, etc. But outstanding. Don't let tonight go in a direction, especially Chelsea fans, where you relay it back to yourselves and say, we should have got Enrique. Okay, you can do that. But let's just appreciate the football. Let's just appreciate the beautiful game too. Let's just appreciate what we've witnessed, because what we've watched is historic. It's one of the most one-sided Champions League finals in the history of the competition. That is what that was. From an Inter Milan perspective, I don't want to get onto them too much, because they've had a season where they've just fallen at the final hurdle at every point. And unless you're maybe watching them week in, week out, maybe Inter Milan fans will be able to pinpoint where it went wrong and what fixture and what moment and Inzaghi and the system or the players. I don't know. I just know that tonight you got taught a footballing lesson and you honestly didn't belong on the same solar system as this PSG team. Maybe PSG Barcelona would have been more even or more, more of a matchup because of the football and the way that they play. But listen, I just believe from a physical standpoint, you couldn't compete. You couldn't keep up with those PSG midfielders. On the ground, they are just in your face and they're just congesting every space and they're into you, onto you. And it's like there's no breathing room. And when you're talking about aging guys in that Inter Milan team, it's really tough mentally and physically to keep up. It's really tough. Forget technically, it's just difficult to keep up. And Serie A, we know the football is slower and it's a different league. PSG is a physical league. It just wasn't the right matchup. It really wasn't. And then you put Enrique in the dugout and the way that he plays and the way that team's been built and constructed. And we saw Inter Milan, a little bit fortuitous at times maybe to get to this point, but credit them regardless. PSG were never fortunate. They got through every round just proving themselves, showcasing the quality. It is ridiculous. The way that they've played, the mentality shift from where they were over the course of how many campaigns where they bottled it. Donnarumma, he's risen. This is his tournament. Unbelievable goalkeeper. He wins the best goalkeeper at the tournament. Marquinhos, been over there 10 years, captains his team to a Champions League. He's gone through Thiago Silva, Sergio Ramos, now next to Pacho. He's been there, seen it, done it. He's played with Verratti. He's now playing with João Neves. He's seen every era, every option, every, way of life at PSG from Ibrahimovic all the way to Cavani, now, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, all the way here to Dembele leading the line. Such a great blend between experience and youth. Maybe we could say Inter Milan didn't have enough youth, didn't have enough energy. But this PSG team, the experience of the Hakimis, league winners, Marquinhos, league winners, Donnarumma's, been about now for the longest, Dembele's, blended in with the João Neveses and the Desiree Doué's unpredictability. Oh, it was some sweet shit tonight. Yeah, some good shit. Fabian Ruiz, a Euros winner last summer. That blend of experience and youth is the sweet spot, ladies and gentlemen. That is a real team that has been assembled. There's a lot to look at and be inspired by and be optimistic about this beautiful game that we play because they have shown what it's all about. They've shown how to do it at the highest of levels. That's why I'm a massive fan of Luis Campos. He knows what he's cooking. I don't know if I've done enough glazing. I don't know. But listen, I feel like if I speak anymore, I'm in big trouble because I could be here all night talking about that PSG team and that performance. Everybody's got a mention. Everybody deserves their credit to a man. And Inter Milan, I'm afraid, every single player on that pitch played their part in getting absolutely destroyed and, taken to the cleaners, really. I do feel for you. You've had a season of heartbreak and I don't know how you're feeling and how you'll get over it because it is nasty work to lose the title to Napoli, to lose the Coppa Italia, I believe, to AC, to lose this Champions League final. Exhausting, and a lot of these players will never get to this point again. But I tip my beret off to PSG and that football club because they weren't the most likable. They did pump in a lot of money, as we have and as City have, and the oil clubs and the Galactico. But look at this. French football is back. Va-va-voom, ladies and gentlemen. Homegrowns looking in your league and sussing out the quality, bringing it in. It's beautiful, beautiful. Guys, make sure you smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe. I will see you guys next time. I am taken aback. I'm going to go watch the highlights about 1,000 times. In a bit, people. Peace.